We mapped the cosmic Cold War where the Jedi met the Syndicate and analyzed the master plan, the motive, and the wicked grit. From Gotham's gritty alleys to the throne room on Apocalypse, unleashing lore, heavy knowledge from the serpent's verbal exodus. Welcome to the Villainz Lair podcast. Welcome to the Villainz Lair podcast.
All right, welcome inside the Villainz Lair. Ryan and Alvin with you on a Tuesday. So happy that everyone's here with us. Alvin, how are you doing, brother?
Happy Tuesday, my dog. Sun's blasting right on my back, and I'm ready to speak some geek. Let's do this.
Yeah, I hope everyone's Star Wars hangovers aren't too bad. No Star Wars in today. I'm sure plenty of news coming up in the coming days with Mandalorian Grogu coming out soon. But today we start with the other big phenomenon, and that is the Avengers. Avengers co-director Joe Russo was interviewed recently, and he was talking about movie spoilers in general and said that they could be a bit over-policed. Now, this is sort of referring to the extensive links that movie productions like Avengers will go to, keep the super fans and the scoopers off the scent and away from spoilers. My question, I guess, for you is, how do you enjoy the lead up to a movie? Do you, maybe see a trailer or two and you're good? Or, we're in this business of what the leaks and what the scoops are. Do you enjoy a little bit of spoilers, or do you want to just go in knowing as little as possible?
Well, my message to Joe Russo is can't stop, won't stop with spoilers. You just can't. You just freaking can't. And we live in a world of social media nowadays where things will leak. People will make fake trailers. People will make AI trailers, which look even phenomenal. And to answer your question, I try to watch as little as possible with trailers, but I used to work at this company once upon a time where I have to watch EPKs, and with EPKs you have to watch actual scenes, which kind of even ruins them more than a trailer because you actually see 5 minutes of a scene
right
at a time. At least to me it feels like 5 minutes. It's probably shorter at some of them, but like it's long. It's long scenes, and when I like going to a movie with a fresh mind. I like not knowing a lot about things. I don't know if you remember when Justice League was first rumored to be coming out. People started leaking scripts everywhere. Like they were like saying, "Oh, this is a Justice League script," and then people were able to get this actual like full length film script, which I actually read, and it was really a dope movie, and I wish they would have made that. But it wasn't like the actual movie at all. So I just don't think it can be stopped with social media nowadays too. I mean, obviously people sign NDAs and stuff like that, but it still gets leaked either way. What's your take on it? I mean, how do you stop yourself from watching, or do you actually review trailers and go frame by frame and see like, oh, this could be it, this could be happening, whatever spoiler there might be?
Yeah, I mean, as far as myself, I go back to like even the early days of the MCU and trying to get my hands on anything I could find. I don't mind sort of knowing some of these reveals, although if it's a big plot twist, I obviously want to stay away from that because the theatrical experience is the best place for that. And if you kind of know that already, then I feel like you're watching the film and you're counting the steps along the way until you get to it. But you see the extent that they're going to today, whether it's shooting additional footage that will never make it into a trailer to throw people off the scent, or we see them online a lot in social media, photos being shared with people with crazy lenses, and you see that they're having to you'll see actors on the set walking onto the set wearing large cloaks you know, to kind of cover up what they're wearing because they don't want to reveal some big costume
Yeah.
or any sort of information. Um,
Joaquin Phoenix running in the streets of New York. Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah, as the Joker. Yep,
Yeah.
those were big ones. But I mean, for something like that, you know, I think we all knew he was going to be a Joker. It was cool to get a glimpse of what he
Yeah.
was going to look like. So that kind of stuff, I am all for. You know, I'm sure the Marvel snipers that Feige employs, you know, probably don't like that, and that's why they're out there, you know, on red carpets, hoping that cast members like Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland don't spoil, you know, some key parts. But you know, I think Joe is saying that like, you know, it's a bit much, the links that we have to go to, you know, to preserve, you know, some of these moments. And I think he just thinks like, would you just let it kind of happen organically?
Right. I mean, as I was saying, I like to stay away from social media. Like today, I'm not gonna go on social media at all till I watch Daredevil. So I
Yeah,
like, I don't want any spoilers at all. But also to me, there's nothing like a good feeling in the going in a premiere in a movie. Like the last one, I believe, was Deadpool and Wolverine, where every character you see that you did not
right,
know was making an appearance, and everyone starts cheering and applauding. Right?
right,
You
right.
see, you see Blade, everyone's applauding. Everyone's applauding for Gambit. Like you would see these little like Chris Evans being there. The whole I couldn't even hear any of the dialogue right
I
afterwards when
know.
he made his appearance. I had to rewatch it again because everyone was applauding like crazy, and I love that watching it in the theater. So something like that I don't want to hear, but backstage scenes cool. You know, Joaquin running as the Joker, you obviously know who he is, but I try not to see any characters or even like obviously like you're not gonna know the ending right away, but
Hmm.
guess what?
Yeah,
Just stay away from social media if you don't want to see it. Any
right.
spoilers.
Or stay away from television. You and I worked for a certain three-letter network fairly recently, and the morning of the movie's release, that company's
Eh,
main
nope.
show
Yeah.
decided to spoil the entire reveal of the cast that came out in the cave when in Deadpool and Wolverine. It was Blade's reveal, Elektra, Channing Tatum's Gambit, and I pleaded that morning with one of the main characters on that show to not do this, that it was very disrespectful to the viewers and it was very disrespectful to the culture, and they didn't care.
No.
Honestly, they didn't care. And you know, those are the types of things I think, you know, the studio went to great lengths to preserve. And if you can allow people to have opening night, you know, and not spoil those things for them, I think that that is a kind of a better way to go about it.
Agreed, agreed. I mean, like there's a lot of fanboys. Some people are not like us where we would watch it like the weekend of. They might wait weeks because the theater is less packed. And in that sense, you can't avoid it at that point. Like
Right.
I feel like what is the rule of thumb that you can start spoiling stuff or start putting in your reviews on, you know, the premiere of the movie or the premiere of the episode of the show when it starts streaming.
You know, you know, if they're doing stuff the day of, you know, because the night before was a big release, you still have to like, hey, before we do anything here, huge spoiler alert, huge
Yeah,
spoiler warning. You know, if you haven't seen this, come back to what we're doing, go see what, and then you can pick up because we are about to talk about this pretty in depth. None of that happened. They just,
yeah.
hey, this is guess what, this and that, and I thought it was really really distasteful.
I know it's crazy too now that I think about it because we both grew up in the '90s. And can you imagine like if we had all this social media stuff and all these spoilers, like going into Batman and Robin or even the first Spider-Man, like
Right.
going to Batman and Robin, like all of a sudden people are spoiling, oh, it's the worst movie ever with Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze and Batman and Robin and
Yeah.
ice skates. Like I would be pissed, like knowing that, oh, I'm going into the movie and I know it's going to be shitty already. So your expectations are low. So I think at the end of the day, going to a movie, I don't want my expectations to be high or low. I just want to go in there with a clear mind and let me decide on how I should feel what the
Right.
movie's going to be like. So
Right. Well, Avengers comes out in December and it is early May at this point. We still have yet to the broader public have any sort of trailer. I mean, we've got a movie poster with a logo, but no real, exclusive looks at any of the characters in there other than some leaked promo art. Speaking of promo art, one thing we are really excited about this year is the release of X-Men 97 season
yes,
2. I mean, I've been I've been dying for this since the end of the first season. I mean, a absolute home run they had on Disney Plus with the first season. And so what's happened is some of this promo art is now coming out, and we are seeing some of these things. We're going to show you. So if you don't want to know anything about X-Men 97, we just talked about spoilers. We're going to show you some of this promo art here. You do get a little bit of like looks at new members of the teams and of the shows. So if you don't want to see those, click away, come back in about 10 minutes or scroll ahead about 10 minutes. So let's take a look at some of this right here. So you get Wolverine, Bone Claw Wolverine. Remember at the end of season 1, spoiler if you haven't seen it, Magneto ripped the adamantium out of his skull, and which meant he loses the claws. So we get Bone Claw Wolverine here. Up, Morph, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Forge, Storm, all people that we saw in season 1. The character I'm most excited for, and one of my absolute favorite Marvel characters, Archangel. Get here, exclusive look here at Archangel down there, Sunspot, Jubilee, Cable, and Psylocke now on the show here. So excited for Psylocke. Here's a cool shot of them. I believe this is the team that is maybe connected with. I think they went to the future.
they are in the future. Yeah, that's if you remember the last episode of X-Men 97, all the members are in different parts of the
Right.
timeline. And I believe Cyclops was in the future, right?
Yeah. So I
Eh,
think this whole
mm,
group right here is in the future.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then,
man, it's giving me goosebumps. Right? You remember the hologram Cable comic book?
yes, 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 yes.
That was a good issue, and just for them to have like Bishop and Cable predominantly
Mhm.
presented like that, amazing in X Men '97, and I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more.
And in this group right here, I believe is the group that is in the past with the young Apocalypse.
Yes,
So you
yes.
had Nightcrawler, Rogue, Magneto, Bishop, and Beast, and I believe Charles is with them.
The
So
hot silver-haired Magneto with a silver beard. Bro,
yeah,
nah.
there's a look at. If you look in the center of this image, you see Polaris, Magneto's daughter, other one of his daughters anyway, and then
Uh, I I'd be interested what her backstory is gonna be in this one.
right, because that was sort of, it wasn't initially written that way, but it was
No.
retcon to be that. Oop,
Do you think they're still gonna stay true, kind of like to the comics,
uh,
or are they gonna change the dynamic of the characters in these
I think
different timelines?
I think as they typically do, they'll take, some liberties and give us some new angles on things. And then here's another thing I'm excited for. And I think this is Forge's team in present day that emerges with the missing X-Men team is you get the X Factor group. This is not the original X Factor team, which was Cyclops, Jean, Iceman, Beast, and Angel, but you get Havoc, Polaris, Strong Guy, Wolfsbane, Val Cooper, and Multiple Man. So this is
Yeah,
a really cool lineup. This was like they started to come around, I think, like X Factor issue 90. It's around that area. And then that's also when X Force with the introduction of, well, I guess it was like the second appearance of Deadpool, and you had a lot of stuff going on at that time, like early '90s era. But this team looks
Yeah.
like Psylocke, Jubilee, Archangel, Sunspot. It's gonna be really dope. I can't wait.
The storylines are going to be crazy because how are they going to intertwine everything together? And I'm sure with them being stuck in that timeline, I don't see them joining up again and reuniting right away, you know.
Right.
And also, what we left off with X-Men 97 season 1, there was a lot of like relationships going on everywhere
Yeah.
between, right? But not even just between Rogue and Magneto and Gambit, but you also had Professor X had his own kind of
Right. He was gone for a bit, and
relationship going on. Yeah,
yeah.
and he was torn to either go back to Earth or stay with his love up there. And also, Storm had another relationship going on too, so it was like relationship
Right.
problems all over the place. So, how do they intertwine all these things? Who I feel bad the most is Gambit, obviously. So,
Yeah.
I
And then we
mean,
got, speaking
Gambit
of
is my
Gambit,
boy.
we got that huge tease that he's the fourth horseman of the apocalypse, that he's death, you know. It's kind of taken the place
Right.
of Archangel, but there also is comic precedence for Gambit being the fourth horseman. So I'm super excited to see. That's probably the future. Probably see that in the future versions with an older apocalypse, fully formed.
Right. Oh, he's gonna be so badass. I felt like in X-Men 97, he was more of like a little heartbreak kid boy toy kind of guy in that one,
Mm,
rather than the like really cunning. I don't care. I'm Gambit. I have no care in the world. I do what I want kind of thing. And I mean, he's always been suave, right? But
right.
I felt like he was more like he was a little different in X-Men 97, more than a different version of Gambit than what I adored so much and loved.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, there's so many fun. I mean, the moment with "Remember My Name," dear God, like that episode, and then Rogue's reaction.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I can't
Well, we're
wait.
look.
I can't wait for this, but we'll see. When does this come out anyway?
Let's see if I can get an official date here.
Yeah, did they give us an official date?
Not on the. Let's see.
It's funny because DC animation has always been killing it more than Marvel to me, but
Mhm.
then with X-Men 97, they're just bringing it back on the map.
Yeah, no. So just a summer release. That's all. That's all they're giving us at this point.
Oh,
So
we'll get it sometime
yeah, I
soon.
mean, technically June, but maybe more like July. I would think,
Yeah.
so they don't step on the
Oh
toes
yeah.
of things that are coming out in theaters, like Spider Man.
Can't wait. Yeah, can't wait to hear it.
So good,
So
so good, so good. All right, so you spoke about DC just a second ago. So one of the things we haven't really talked about on this show, Supergirl. The runtime has been revealed at an hour and 50 minutes. As you know, that is in theaters in June, on June 26th.
27th.
Um,
Yeah.
so it actually is coming in shorter than Superman. Superman was about 2 hours and 10 minutes. Now, an hour 50, and that also counts credits. And when you think about how many visual artists and things like this go into a movie that'll take place in outer space and with characters flying and superpowers, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of them. So I would assume that movie probably comes in a little closer to like an hour 42, which for a superhero movie, and an origin story at that, that's pretty short.
Yeah, I mean that was a different difference with Superman, right? Superman barely had didn't have an origin story. He didn't make the movie that way, and he
Mhm.
didn't want an origin story. So is he staying away from origin story with you kind of have to have an origin story with this Supergirl. It's not the
Yeah,
Melissa Benoist Supergirl, in
right.
CW, which had a lot of backstory, and also I can only imagine Lobo would have a big, huge origin story, the way he turned out to be Lobo, and not to mention exploring different galaxies and different planets in that one, as James Gunn loves to do. So,
Right.
what kind of worlds are you going to have on this? She's obviously not going to be really on Earth too much.
Yeah.
Plus, crypto. Also, obviously, Superman's going to be in there making appearances. So it should be a bunch of things, and hopefully they introduce a little bit more of the Lantern core in this to set up for the HBO show. Look, I'm good with it being that length. I can't wait what they bring to the table with Lobo and Supergirl and everything James Gunn explore in this whole film. It's
Yeah.
gonna be
I mean,
exciting. Lobo.
you talked about Lobo. I mean, look at this image here. I mean, say what you will about his version of Aquaman, and whether it was miscast or you didn't like the Polynesian background that they gave him, but man, he was born to play Lobo. Like I think I
Yeah.
called this, way back in the day that he should just play Lobo. He's drawn exactly like the character. He already has that bro attitude. And look at this image. I mean, if this movie is gonna have, if it stinks, I wasn't a big Superman fan, and if this movie, is on par with that, I still think he's gonna steal every scene he's in.
Yeah, I mean, I like Jason Momoa as Aquaman. I was a fan. I mean, Aquaman 2 wasn't the greatest, but I loved the original
Yeah,
Aquaman.
so did
So
I.
let's see. Yeah, so let's see how different this character is in comparison. I just he needs to change up the Jason Momoa flair into it.
Yeah,
He's got to be totally different. That's all I know.
true, true, true. All right. Well, Supergirl comes out, in theaters in June. We'll see how that movie turns out. One thing I want to talk about, and we'll end the show with this. This is kind of a fun question here. There's always a lot of talk about Batman and Superman having Batman and Spider-Man having the best rogues galleries. It's kind of, an essential part of their characters. Um, I want to know. So let's set up a scenario here. You get one night in Arkham with Batman's, rogue gallery, and think about like the Batman Arkham Asylum game, where you had Bane and the Joker was pulling all the strings. Now, I don't think let's remove all the henchmen and stuff. Could you survive one night in Arkham, and or what about one night in New York City, and you're hunted by the Sinister Six? Which would be the toughest to survive? Now we can do it that way, or I can give you Robin to help you in Arkham, and Miles Morales to help you in New York City. Which one's tougher?
Oh, it depends. Which Robin are we talking about? We talking about Dick Grayson, Nightwing Robin? We talking about Tim Drake here, or maybe even Jason Todd, Red Hood Robin? I mean,
Let's give you Damian Wayne, a little bit of a demented Robin.
you know what? As you know, I love Robin and I love Nightwing, and I'm a big Arkham fan. So I love Miles Morales, but being chased by the Sinister Six with pumpkin bombs and all this Green Goblin bombs, and with Doc Ock's freaking tentacles, I don't know. That's kind of tough. I don't think I'm gonna survive, and not to mention all the
You have,
electricity that's going after you in New York City. There's a
yeah, and
lot
you
of
have all of
electricity
what?
in New York City.
New York City is a big city. You have the entire city to run around and try and hide, and you got to just survive one night.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna survive, so I wouldn't want to be running all over the place. Like, I don't have enough stamina and cardio to be running all over New York City getting chased by the Sinister Six. I'd rather be in a small, quaint place like Arkham and hanging out with Robin and telling him where to go and how he can protect me. And
He's
let's
going to
be
be
honest
telling you
here.
where to go.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
exactly. And let's be honest here. Um, all these villains in Arkham are, yes, they are trying to kill you, but at the same time, they just want to leave there. They don't want to stay in Arkham. None of them do. And they
Okay.
always manage to escape anyway. So by the time they escape and I'm still left inside Arkham with Robin, I'm good. You know, I can survive that. And and you also have Poison Ivy in there. Obviously, I'll die right away. If I'm gonna die in Arkham by Poison Ivy, my
What a way to
time has
go.
come. What a way to go. Dunzo. So my answer to you is I rather be in Arkham with Bane, Mr. Freeze. If I get too hot in Arkham, because you know it gets really hot in there, Mr. Freeze can help me out with the AC. Um,
Sure.
if I feel like tripping out on stuff, Scarecrow can help me trip out and get high. You know, I could be in a
Wow.
total hallucinogen moment. So there's a lot of positives in being in Arkham rather than being chased in New York City. You know,
Or you could turn a corner and Joker's there with that crowbar and tortures you like a movie, like a hostile movie.
that that is why I did not mention Joker out of those positives.
And whatever happens to you when Clayface, like whatever's happening to Batgirl, right? Like, oof.
Hey, not to mention too, if I need a pillow, I can just use part of Clayface. So
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, if you're running through New York City and you've got guys on gliders like Mysterio making things look as they don't appear. I know who Anakin would prefer to stay away from in this video or in this challenge here with the Sandman. Vulture seems like just kind of an old dude, like he could overpower Vulture, but
yeah,
yeah, I
uh,
think give me New York City where I think I'm gonna take the other side here. I think I'm gonna go New York City because I've got more chances. And notice I didn't choose the version with Craven the Hunter because I think with Craven the Hunter it's over really quick.
so you think Miles really has your back like that?
Yeah, I think Miles can give enough of a distraction, and he's fighting these guys, and he can like, hey, take on the fight at some point, because I don't think they're all gonna be together, right? If it's New York City, they're gonna fan out,
No.
and
Yeah, they
so
will.
it's
Some will be
Miles.
in Midtown, some will be in the East Side and West Side. So
Yeah,
they're not all over the place.
and who knows, maybe I run into like Daredevil along the way, and someone else that could help me.
No, 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 no. You're not gonna
That's
get in
cheating.
Hell's Kitchen anytime soon.
Right.
They have good Italian restaurants there too.
Okay, so you're familiar. All right.
So one thing about Miles though, can he help you be invisible? Like he can all of a sudden,
Ooh, I don't think he
right?
can shift his powers to other people.
Can,
I don't think he's like Shadowcat, where she like Kitty Pride can like grab your hand and phase you.
that's that's true. Well, you might be screwed at that point. And Electro, you go in the subway, Electro stop in that subway. You're
Yeah,
screwed.
yeah, or Mysterio makes something look like it doesn't. You think you're going one way, and you think you're somewhere, and you're not. I think
Yeah.
back to the Spider-Man, Far From Home. God, that scene where Mysterio really messes with them is incredible.
And bringing back to X-Men '97 also. I remember when Magneto took out all the electricity in the world.
Hmm.
What does that mean for Electro? Was he pissed? Like, can you imagine? Like, where the fuck did all the
Yeah,
Mysterio out of know
yeah. How did
Electro
that
out of nowhere
affect
would be like,
all the
yeah,
electricity-based guys?
I know. Magneto just taking out all the electricity in the world is wild.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you are enjoying conversations like this, like we are, smash that like button, subscribe to this channel. We are on Monday through Friday, always giving you, whatever news is going on in the superhero and geekdom fan culture world of news. You know, movie reviews coming on this website. Obviously, we look at the TV shows. Look out for a Darth Maul season finale review that is going to be dropping on the channel at some point today. Just so
Oh, I
much
can't
for us to
wait.
talk
I
about.
can't wait to check that one out after I
Yeah,
watch it.
after you watch it, because there's tons of spoilers online, and whether you see them or not, I promise you, if you're spoiled, I was spoiled before watching it, and it still exceeded my expectations. So it you're gonna get a really good review from me if you want to check that out. That'll be on the channel. So yeah, that's why you need to subscribe, so you get those alerts and notifications on when to join us. Again, Monday through Friday, we do new episode drops and throughout the day. And if you're, thumbing through shorts, you'll catch a lot of these conversations and highlights of the show every day. Before we go, any last notes, any last comments?
Yeah, tomorrow we will be talking about Daredevil, and I cannot wait to see what
Yes.
happens tonight.
What happens in the season finale of Born Again season 2? Will there be a post-credit scene, potentially with some new characters or some returning characters? We'll talk
R.I.P.
about,
Daniel.
yeah, R.I.P. Daniel. So our first episode without Daniel. Oof. But either way, we're talking about all of it tomorrow on the show. So this is the place to be for all of the reaction and news to all of that. If you're with us after 30 plus minutes, we appreciate you so much. We appreciate you if you only joined for 10 minutes. Anytime you click that button to watch us and step into the Villainz Lair, we appreciate it. Everybody, have a good day, and we'll see you on the next one.